Hello, PowerMax here. Today, I'm going to be showing you tons of cool stuff you can do with your Slayer exciter. So you can see in the background there's my fluorescent light lighting up. You'll also see a CFL down there lighting up right next to the exciter. On the exciter itself is the ion wind motor that you saw in my previous Van de Graaff generator build. Anyway, if we take this off, I'll show you a smaller one that spins a lot faster. So here's my smaller one. Anyway, here I have a CFL, and you can see even with all this load that's already on this exciter, it has some pretty good distance on it. And you can even see it go in and out as the ion wind motor spins around. Here's the larger fluorescent tube. Let's knock that off there. Anyway, so you can see this glows really brightly around the exciter. Quite a lot of light here. So here I have a 40-watt light bulb and a 60-watt light bulb. And notice brought near the exciter that they act like awesome little plasma globes here. Now in this one, the filament's actually burnt out in it, so you can actually see it dangling right there. And here's one of my smaller 10-watt light bulbs. Now this was originally a Christmas light bulb for outside decorating, and I scraped off all the blue coating on it. Now this one is actually different because it has a vacuum drawn on it, but it has some different effects. We can see when the very tip of it's brought near the exciter that it glows with brilliance. But not only does the bulb do that, but it'll actually emit soft X-rays when it's brought near the exciter, and you can see that here. Now these are either soft X-rays or cathode rays. Here's a close-up of it. Whatever rays these are, they're obviously reflecting around on the inside of the glass. So I don't think that they're cathode rays, I think they're more likely to be X-rays. And they're confined within the glass, so they can't escape. And the eerie green glow is probably caused by some phosphors that are within the glass. And if you look very closely, you might be able to see a very faint purple tint way down deep inside of the glass. And so I guess there are a couple of air molecules down in there. Here's a smaller flashlight bulb. And you can see that the filament on this also glows. But that's only because there's all kinds of arcing occurring from it. But this one actually has some pretty good distance on it. And lastly, we have our neon lights and our Vaminko plugs. And these have the most distance on them out of all the bulbs here. Our neon light, you can see that glowing all the way out of the camera's field of view. If we take away the fluorescent bulb here, you can see the neon here lighting up quite a distance away from the exciter. Our Vaminko plug here lights up with a lot of light here, and it can be stretched out really far. Here you see it over 10 feet away from the exciter, and it's still glowing. And with a longer wire attached to the antenna, you can go much further with it. And lastly, we have a loop of 3 Christmas tree light bulbs, and you'll see that when we pass this over the exciter, that all 3 of them light up with full brilliance. Now what's happening here is the magnetic field that our primary coil here is generating is actually being inductively coupled into our L3 coil. which is these Christmas tree light bulbs. And it seems to be brightest right around the middle of the exciter. Now if you're really adventurous, you can even connect this thing up to 24 volts. I have both my old power supply here, just an unregulated 12 volt 4 amp power supply, connected in series with my regulated DC power supply, which supplies up to 2 amps. And I'll be measuring the current with this meter. I'm only going to be turning this on for brief periods of time because it is overloading my 2 amp power supply here. How about that? This is insane. Okay, turn it off for a second. Checking on the heatsink at the voltage regulator back here, making sure it's not getting too hot. Now that while operating, this transistor gets very, very hot. So luckily it hasn't overheated yet. But literally just a couple of seconds of running the circuit in this operation causes the transistor to overheat really quickly. So be careful when operating this thing at 12 or 24 volts. So here it is, I'll do it one more time. And remember, this is a solid state circuit too. A single transistor circuit. So yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out the heat management of this circuit. Yeah, so if you ask me, this is a pretty impressive circuit. Here's a fluorescent light next to it while it's working. This lamp is at full brilliance. It almost hurts to look at it. Here's a chain of 3 Christmas lights. Throw those over the coil. Turn it on. They light up full brilliance. See if you can draw an arc with this. Arc is a little bit less powerful with the lights there. The lights are a resistive load and they are taking power from the circuit. Here's just a standard light here. Look at that. Off the camera and it's still lighting up. Open circuit, we're drawing close to 2 amps of current. And it's going up to 3 amps. Let's add one additional winding here. Okay, so now we have 4 wires wound around here. And now we're only drawing about 1.8 amps, so we're in the safe limit of our power supply here. And performance is, yeah, as far as I'm concerned, it's the same. Maybe a little bit less. Well, that's all the stuff I could think of, but it's certainly not the end of the list. Now this sort of circuit doesn't come without its dangers. Not only can the interference from this device be harmful to computers and other sensitive electronic devices, but can also be harmful to you, especially if you have a pacemaker or a similar device. So use this circuit responsibly. This has been a PowerMax production. If you like what I do, please like, comment, and subscribe. Here I show you how to build the Slater exciter. If you want to learn how to build a Van de Graaff generator, click here. If you want to see some awesome stuff you can do with a Van de Graaff generator, click here.